know about you guys, but did the music go like super fast there, or was it just normal pace? Mine went like, I don't know, got caught or something. But look at Devin, you're in big demand because they're like, let's go. It's past time, boys. They're waiting for you, Devin. So we tonight you see Swiss Army Shawn, and we have with us tonight Jockey, Devin, Magnon. Did I get that right this time?
A for effort.
So Mac down, baby. No doubt about it. But Devin, he rides down in Louisiana Fairgrounds as well, Delta Downs, recently riding at the fairgrounds. And this is an interesting thing to me because I reflect on when I was a young man. And if I was working for my dad and or my girlfriend, I think one would be enough. How does that go?
Honestly, like, it's not bad. It's really not bad. I understand where most people, and in most situations, it could get a little hairy, but the situation we have, I mean, it's pretty much a dream come true, to be honest. It's not, there's minimal stress where there doesn't need to be.
So when you have a bad ride, right? When one of them is mad, they're mad at you. Who's like the one that you really don't want to be mad at you?
Definitely right.
Definitely Riley.
Oh yeah, I'm disappointed in my dad enough. It's okay.
Well, I guess every son could say that, right? Dad's used to that.
I can go home.
That's for sure.
I don't have to talk to him. I can put the phone on mute.
Well, now he knows that's what you're doing, right? So you're giving away your secrets. He's going to tell you next time, don't put me on mute. I'm going to come over there. We're going to talk this out man to man.
That's one thing I have to give to them. Neither one, Riley or my dad, they're very open. I mean, they might give a suggestion after the race, but they're not gonna criticize.
They're not going to give you a hard time. That's good. So I guess it would be tough to kind of tell your story without telling your story from, I think that was January 14th, right, of last year?
Yes, sir. 14.
And that's when you had a horse clip hills, and then it basically somersaulted and landed on you, right?
Yes, sir. At Delta Downs.
And then you had, it probably would be easier to list the things you didn't break, right?
Yeah, I broke all the vertebrae in my neck, and I went down from the T3 to the T9 in my back, all my ribs, collarbone, tailbone, pelvis, and I believe I had a punctured lung, 2 brain bleeds, and I think that checks it all off.
Yeah, it's plenty enough, I think, for one day's work, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell us about that rehab. I mean, how hard was it to come back? So I can imagine, how do you rehab all those things at once?
Honestly, the doctor, I really wasn't prescribed any rehab. I just it was up in the air, like medically, if I was going to be able to ride again. So I think I went to 3 doctor's appointments from the time it happened to when I got released. And I asked them, as far as rehab goes, like what they suggested. And they told me pretty much like there wasn't, until I was released, there wasn't anything I could do that I'd be ready for or that would enhance it. So I just I did like a stay at home rehab.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend, Cameron Fontenot. He built me like a little homemade equicizer, and it helped. I probably shouldn't have got on it as early as I did, but it really did help me. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I was released on the 24th of June. I was named on horses on the 23rd. So I kind of just rolled the dice and said, well, hopefully they release me. But I was released on the 23rd. I was named on horses the 23rd, released on the 24th, and I got on my first horse on the 25th. And then I rode my first race actually on my mother's birthday.
So let me ask you a question. Does the equicizer have hair? Negative, because on your Instagram account, I think you know where I'm going with this. If it has hair, you can ride it. if it has a beat, you can dance to it, right? So, all right, what kind of music do you dance to when you're dancing? And is that like, if we asked Riley, would she say yes, indeed, that's true? He can dance.
I hope, but no, that like it's pretty much dance as far as like Cajun, Zydeco, stuff like that. That's what I grew up doing. I can't like rap music and all that. I can't
No.
Not enough rhythm for that. But as far as Cajun and Zydeco music goes, I feel like I'm pretty decent.
Yeah, we will see you on Dancing with the Stars maybe someday. That would be an aspiration, right? Why not? Shawn, how you doing tonight?
I'm great. So, Devin, when you're not riding for Riley, how different of an experience is that?
As in for a different trainer or?
Yeah, a different trainer.
Oh no, I mean I started riding for Rye. I was still in college, but I had already rode a couple of years. So I mean and off and on I've rode for a bunch of different people. It's pretty much the same as I know it sounds cliche to say, but it's pretty much the same with everybody. As long as you stay professional, the instructions, just kind of follow instructions, do the best you can, and roll with it.
To the people who haven't discovered you yet, what do you think your biggest strength is, and what do you think something you really want to work on as a jockey?
As far as what I feel my biggest strength is making last second decisions, or split second decisions, I should say, and feeling the horse underneath you, because again, there are some instructions that are told to you, and when the gates open, if it doesn't work out that way, or if that's not in the best interest of the horse, a lot of the times sometimes it backfires if you take it into your own hands and you do what you think's best and it backfires. I mean, then it is what it is. But I feel like that's one thing that I try to excel in, is just making last second decisions or split second decisions. And as far as one thing I'd like to get better at is actually, since I've come back from the injury, it's taken me a while to kind of figure out, because I used to ride my style as far as like in the stirrups and everything. I used to ride a lot different, and it's taken me a minute it's been a year, but I think now I just have to kind of figure out, like with the configuration I have with the rods and everything, just what's the best seat for me, as far as figuring out how to like exactly put my stirrups and this and that, and figuring out because the thing about the back situation, it feels different every day. So I think what I would like to do is work on options for myself depending on how I feel going into the race.
And another challenge you have too, how tall are you?
I used to be able to lie and say I was under 6 foot before I got hurt, but the rods in my back actually kind of straightened me up a little bit. So I'd probably say right at even 6 foot now.
Yes, that's another challenge you have. We talk about that a lot with Trevor McCarthy, and you're even taller than Trevor.
Yeah. I think the only rider that kind of looks me in my eyes is, actually, I saw him today, Deshaun Parker.
Wow. So what challenges come along with being that tall as a jockey?
Honestly, I couldn't say any, because since I've started riding, I've been pretty tall, and I just adapted my riding style to my height. So it's kind of, I've just gotten used to it. I know not a lot of trainers, but I have had some trainers think that like they didn't want to put me on a smaller horse just because they felt that I wouldn't be comfortable. But in all honesty, I believe like my height, I believe it's an advantage, because my arms are long, so I can really, like, when you get down to riding, I can tighten up the reins and I can have my hands almost at their ears, where it kind of gives you more leverage to push.
Yeah, I can see that. So you also ride quarter horses. Now, do you feel like being taller helps you more with thoroughbreds or with quarter horses, or no different?
Definitely with the thoroughbreds, I feel, because the quarter horses, you don't really have a lot of range of motion. You get real still and you just kind of balance them, which is one thing that I had to learn when I started with the thoroughbreds, because you can do everything the same until you turn for home. But when you turn for home with thoroughbreds, you really have to tighten up the reins and get your hands high and push on them, go with the rhythm. Water horses, you just, like I said, you sit real still and get out the wind.
So that's the biggest difference for you. Which one do you prefer to ride, the quarter horses or the thoroughbreds, and why would you pick one over the other?
Honestly, I started on the quarter horses, and I didn't ride very long, like strictly the quarter horses. But I would have to say that the quarter horses are my favorite, just because of the feeling you have underneath you and the adrenaline right out the gates. Because thoroughbred's very slow paced, and you can kind of game plan and this and that. But relating back to those split-second decisions with the quarter horses, it's way, way, way more dramatic as far as leaving there because you have an average of 18 seconds to figure it out, whereas for the thoroughbreds, you have over a minute.
Speaking of different styles, so you're right at Delta Downs primarily, which is really short track, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you also spent some time recently off the fairground, so which is known for having a pretty good runway at the end of the racetrack there. So what's the difference in like how hard is it to adjust when you're used to going around in a tight circle, then all of a sudden you're on a bigger track?
Honestly, I don't feel I struggle too much as far as adjusting goes because one thing that my dad, Jason Magnon, he beat it into my head is save as much ground as you can. So I find when you're at the fairgrounds, it's actually a lot easier to ride the race that I like because you can get on top of the fence and you can stay there until you turn for home because you have a quarter of a mile when you straighten up. At Delta, you find yourself, if you try to save too much ground, it can bite you because when you turn for home, if you don't get loose, you've only got about 10, 15 jumps before you hit the wire. So
it makes huge difference. So it's that straightaway at the end in the stretch that's the biggest difference. It gives you a little bit more time to kind of be more tactical in your ride versus just needing to get in good position in Delta Downs.
Yeah, at the fairgrounds, you can definitely, or any track that's got that long of a stretch, you can be really, really patient and you can set yourself and you can wait a little longer than need be. When you're on a small track at Delta, if it's between sitting behind a horse going into the turn or swinging a little more wide than you feel comfortable, you're probably better off going a little wider because by the time the running gets starting down the lane, if you're not in position, you're probably not going to get there.
So you got a picture of Oak Lawn behind you. Is that your ultimate goal where you want to end up?
No, actually that picture, it was a gift from Riley's mother, Miss Renee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just bought a house probably 20 minutes from Evangeline, and this was one of the housewarming gifts.
Ah, nice. Do you have any aspirations to head off to bigger tracks like fairgrounds, maybe full time, or off to Oak Lawn? Long term, what do you see yourself doing?
Long term, honestly, wherever the horses take me. I'm pretty home based. Like I don't, if the opportunity arises where I can go somewhere and bring the family, though, that is one thing. I don't see myself going anywhere where me or Riley or anybody in our family can go because it really is. We have a good operation where we're at, so I'm pretty content where I'm at. But if the opportunity does arise, I'm not going to turn it down.
I can understand that. So family is definitely the more important thing, right? All those other things, if take care of themselves over due course. So aside from horse racing and dancing, when you want to have some fun, what do you do?
Oh, honestly, honestly, and since I came back from the injury and everything, like as far as trying to, because my diet wasn't the best. I never took extreme measures like you hear about and stuff, but a lot of running, a lot of sweating, and just not eating right. But ever since I came back, I really can't be as active as I'd like to be. So I had to learn how to eat right, and I think probably 5 out of the 7 nights, me and Rye, we sit at the stove, the air fryer, skillet, and we start cooking.
Cooking.
It sounds kind of corny, but I really do enjoy it.
I know it's not corny at all. I used to cook a lot as a kid, still do now. My mother, so my mom would make chicken all the time. And I would tell her, Mom, if you keep this bleep up, I'm going to grow feathers my damn self. So my mom would tell me, she would say, if you don't like it, do it yourself, right? I mean, every kid's probably heard that in their lifetime. So I said, the hell with it. I went and got out the Betty Crocker cookbook and I started making anything but chicken. And I've been cooking ever since. But I like chicken now.
Definitely, I've learned because I'm lighter now than, honestly, I've been since I was probably in 8th grade. And I eat double the amount of what I used to eat.
So you get a lot of green stuff?
Oh, yeah.
So I was going to say, at 6 foot tall, what do you have to weigh? Like a $112? Is that about the weight that you have to be?
You can go down.
Even lower?
Oh, that you have to be or that I am?
Oh, no, that like most jockeys are about 112 pounds. Yeah, then they put the like the lead things in the saddle to get the right weights.
Yeah, yes, sir. 112 is pretty average.
Pretty average. So you weigh less than that?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine. I weighed like 108 when I was in 9th grade, and I never could. There's no way I could get back to 108 unless I was like really gravely ill or something like that. And I don't want any of that just yet. Anyway, somewhere down the line, then I'll be thankful I'm skinny, because you got to look at the bright side of everything. In any case, we do appreciate your time, Devin. Sean, any final thoughts before we let Devin get out the air fryer?
Yeah, I got 2 quick things. When Riley was on, she locked you in the bedroom. So is Riley in the bedroom now watching the show as well?
No, she actually went to the track. She went to the track to go set up the list for tomorrow morning and everything. Like I said, we're 20 minutes from Evangeline now, so it's pretty convenient.
Also, we talked earlier. I don't know. Did you get a chance to look at the bracket, and you have anybody you're picking?
I did check out the bracket.
He's from Louisiana. He's going to take LSU. Come on.
No. I like Kentucky.
There you go.
Yeah, like Gonzaga. As far as the Final Four goes, Kentucky, Gonzaga, Arizona. I know it's pretty. 1-2, but if I had to pick, I'd pick Kentucky.
It's going to pick Kentucky. Sean likes Kentucky too.
Yeah, good pick.
Oh, you picked him too? Hey, there we go.
Yeah, I did, and I did actually. I did pick him to win it all. Yes. Wow.
He's donating. Thank you, Sean. So I did the chalk thing. I went through it. I picked it. Are you familiar with Ken Palm?
No, sir.
He makes these statistics, and I went through and I went, they make models and all that kind of crap. But anyway, so I ran all the games hypothetically in the Excel. Like A is going to beat B, then I put A versus C, and all the way through to see who it would pick. And I ended up chalky going with Gonzaga and Arizona in the finals, with Arizona winning one and Gonzaga winning the other. Ordinarily, I do a sheet of integrity, but this year I decided to be a little bit mischievous.
Well, you picked 2 1 seeds. At least you got you got a shot.
Yeah, and in the bottom, I got Purdue and then Auburn. So I went a little bit off the script on the other one. So we'll see what happens. It's every year you're in it to the Final Four, and then you get knocked out. You just got to – it's one of those things that you win maybe once every 10 years, and you're happy when you do to pay for the other 10 years coming up.
Pay for the other 10 years coming up, just like a bet.
Absolutely, for sure. All right, Devin, we appreciate you coming along. Go Kentucky, but we wish you a lot of luck with the racing going forward.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
And most importantly, health, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thanks,
yes, sir. Thank y'all, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, you're the big head. Back to
and I don't have a hat to cover it.
Oh no, what we got? Who's this showing up, Sean?
Yeah, told you.
Look who it is.
Hi.
Hi.
So he gets to see. He didn't know that was going to happen.
It's CC Prankinson.
Pranking you. That's right.
Yes, I see.
Nice try.
With the red pants too. Thank you very much. I don't think they would fit though.
Oh, but see so when I run over to Turf Paradise, you got to hang them behind you. They're for a good luck charm.
For you, yes, indeed. But because you must have been watching the show when your horse was on, and I told Sean, is she wearing the red pants? Is she wearing the red pants? He said no. She says she has white pants. I said, I'm not betting.
Well,
And then the next time, Sean sends me a winner circle photo. Guess what? Red pants. So she's
boom.
blonde. Yes, indeed.
I'm catching on. I'm a blonde, but I'm not dingy.
Well, that's I got nothing to say. I'm speechless for once.
Wow,
in my life.
That does not happen. So wow.
No, it does not happen. Ordinarily, I have plenty to say, but
I
didn't know where quite to go back with that.
Well, you should feel lucky because every time I put on those red pants, I think of you, and you're the first guy I think of. So that's probably a win-win for you.
Yeah, it probably is a win-win. I think a lot of people probably wish they were in that position, huh? That would be,
all right. Well, hey, so Crookhaven's running on Monday. She's in the first race, so she just won there. So she comes back and repeats that. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
And you'll be wearing
red.
Red. Will you be wearing more red?
I'll be just wearing the red pants
and a red shirt.
No, that's too much red. That's a lot going on.
Oh, yes. Well, you might have some rivals come after you then if you were all red like that. We don't want that.
We need Rich to try on these red pants now.
At least I'd like to see at least on one leg.
It might fit on one leg. That's about it.
Hey,
I'm
they're
not even
yoga
sure.
pants. They
I'm
work
not even
great.
sure it would fit when the sun's out and the guns are out, Shawn.
God. Just wear it as a scarf then, just throw it over.
That's a good idea. So on Monday, for good luck for you, I'll have
Right?
the red scarf on, like Snoopy.
There you go. That's perfect.
Indeed. So you're going to have to tune in for that. Someone's going to have to remind me, though, Shawn, that I have to wear the red scarf. Otherwise, I'll forget.
Yeah, no, I'll remind you.
Yeah, CC will remind me, and I'll remind you.
There we go. All right, you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Have a great
See you
night.
See you in the winter circle.
Yes, indeed, CC Prankinson. We'll see you later.
Cut it out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What are you guys doing to me, Shawn?
Throwing you off and giving you a big head again.
I don't have a big head. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's talk about some horse racing stuff. Delmar is going to raise the purses for the horses that come in from Ship and Win program, Shawn. We talked a little bit about the short fields the other night with Richard Mandela, and I wonder if he watched the Rush Hour. Ask him if he's watched it yet, Shawn. So what do you think about this idea that they're going to up the purse? Do you think that's going to make like the local people kind of like upset? Like, wait a minute. We've been here the whole time and these guys are getting more money than we do to ship horses in?
They've had a variation of this before. Now they're just raising the cost even more, the purses even more. So, I mean, it's something they've already done. So I don't know I'm sure it's like anything else. Even when you have a job and they bring in people and they pay them more than what you are when you're there. So yeah, I'm sure it upsets people, but they want big fields. So, I mean, this is a way to do it.
Well, I think it's a kind of double-edged sword for the owners there, right? Because so if you increase the size of the field, you decrease the odds of winning just from a math standpoint.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? And then if you give the other guys more money, you really have to win to keep up.
Yeah, that's true. That's a way of looking at it too. But you also, and everybody will tell you too. I mean, it's the same. It's the same as when you're playing sports. You want to go up against the best. Plus, it keeps the sport alive. That's what they want.
The only difference is, Shawn, when you're playing sports, you want to go up against the best, right? As you said. The NFL, NBA, golf. Well, golf is probably the only one that's not like that. But NBA, hockey, NFL, Major League Baseball, all of those sports, Shawn, they have they get the paycheck. It doesn't change if they win or lose.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But overall, I think every horse racing person, they want, even people in it, they want the big fields and they want the sport to succeed. So.
Good to hear that Skylar did good today. Terry and I were doing Gulfstream Park, and then unfortunately I had to get up and out of the house for a little while today. I couldn't just chain myself into my dungeon like I normally do today. So I got a lot of, can't say those words, to do when Shawn and I were done. So I didn't get to catch all the races today. So unfortunately I didn't see Skylar do that, but Shawn, make sure you tell her that we said, way to go. Yeah,
there's a lot of good young jockeys down at Tampa. Even the 18-year-old Maddie Rowland won today at 10-1. We'll have her on next month. So a lot of young talent, and that's good to see in the sport as well.
Mm-hmm. And in a good group of different kinds of people too. So you're going to appeal to a wider audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, I guess the folks in Georgia, Shawn, that watched the show, they didn't take our advice and did not call their senators because the Georgia Senate kills. They should never use that word in a horse racing sentence. It's just bad prose, my friends. But Georgia Senate kills horse racing measure.
Yeah, that's not good. And that's bad use of words. Although I have done that before, and you don't think about it all the time. But they should definitely know better.
Yes, indeed. Well, if you live in Georgia and you want horse racing, pari-mutuel betting, it's imperative on you to reach out to your representatives and let them know that you're disappointed with their vote last night to get their beep in order and put horse racing back to the public so that there's a referendum and individuals can vote on it, not just representatives. Finally, Shawn, Sundowns. This is a small track, right? Terry says he's been to every track on the planet, so I wonder if he's actually been to Sundowns or not. He'll chime in any second now in the comment section with I've been there 14 times. I had 73 winners. I think I won every race that they ever had. Right, Terry? But Sundowns, it's actually a small track that runs sparingly, but it's a name I'm familiar with. It was one you're familiar with too.
No, it's not. You sent me this, and how many years has it been running?
Hasn't been running for 3 years.
Yeah, it's the third year. So yeah, I really haven't heard of this track, and I would have thought I would have, but no, I haven't.
So the track is called.
I've been there.
And you won every race too, right? No, just kidding you, Terry. I'm just tickling your sides a little bit there, Elmo. Hey, so did you read the story about the woman who owns this place though?
I read parts of it. I didn't get to read all of it, but yeah, I saw some of the bad luck she was having.
Yeah, 80 years old. The first year she had COVID, right? Then because of the COVID, so the first year they had COVID, so they shut the track down. So they're going to open up the track last year when everything reopened, but she got COVID at 80 years old and couldn't get the track back up because she spent 6 weeks or something like that between being ill at home and in the hospital back and forth. So finally, and then during the COVID, there was some paperwork that she had to fill out that she missed. And what it is that she had to have liability insurance. Well, what she was saying is that there's only one place, Shawn, that does liability, or one major place that does liability insurance for horse racing tracks, and that's Lloyd's of London. And apparently it takes some time to get those contracts done. So you think about, horse racing, and you don't think about those behind the scene things and what impact that they can have. If Lloyd's of London, I guess, or the folks that underwrite horse racing ever decided not to underwrite it anymore, that could be a tough thing for the sport. So maybe some people in the business that are familiar with the business that have some money might think about starting their own liability insurance company, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's odd that there's only one, but yeah, that would definitely create a backlog and be harder to get done quickly.
So Terry, now we know why Terry got married, because he took his wife to that track. It was the first track they went to 28 years ago when they were dating. So she knew from that point, Terry, it could only get better. Just kidding you, my friend. Anyway, so tomorrow night, Shawn, we'll be back for the Players Edge podcast. We're going to have a special guest tomorrow. That is Paula Bacon, right? That's her. Because I was reading about Paula Bacon, getting ready for a Q&A, which I'll send out to her either later on today or first thing in the morning, because I got quite a bit to do before I head out of here today. But here she is. She's going to be on the show tomorrow. And I was reading up on her, and in the course of reading up on her, another jockey name came up that with the last name Bacon, named Mary Bacon. Are you familiar with her at all?
I am not. Is that her mom? Is that her mother?
No, it's another lady who had her name born. So she was born around in Illinois. This other one was born in Chicago, Mary Bacon, in the 1970s or maybe somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit younger than I am. She's passed away since. It's a tragic ending to her life, suicide. But she was like the Chantel, the horse racing jockey who transcended horse racing because of her looks, you know what I'm saying? So she was like in Playboy and Genesis, and she was doing like Revlon commercials and stuff like that on TV, but just some crazy wild stories this girl had. She was kidnapped by a stalker. I mean, you just name it. But and then she made a tragic mistake, and she started dating David Duke, the KKK dude, and ended up going to a KKK rally and said some very unfortunate things and ended up ruining her career. But it's quite a story to read about this other one. So I wonder if Paula's story, minus all the bad things, if she'll have some similar type fun things to talk about tomorrow.
Well, she was an ex-jockey, ex-trainer, now a jockey agent, so she's experienced a lot in the sport. So I'm sure she has a story for whatever we want to ask her about.
Mm-hmm. She the one that met? Is that the one? No, she's not the one that met Skylar, is she? Because Skylar tells a story at Tampa Bay because the person that was the girl that saw her in the car, her boyfriend was the trainer. She wasn't the trainer itself.
Right.
I was going to say, wow, that would be quite a coincidence, wouldn't it?
No, but she is Pablo Morales' agent, and we did have Pablo on, so there's a connection there as well. So
Charles was talking about Terry's Box It Up today. He had a 30-1 come on top of the next two favorites. I think the exacta paid like $170 for a buck, and then the trifecta paid $170, somewhere around there for 50 cents. So Terry hit a home run there.
Wow.
And then we both hit the hot dog. I mean, the prime rib pick 4 on the back end, but it cost less than it made like $4 less than what the tickets cost. But we had a chance with some big numbers at the end, but just caught favorites. So it would have been nice to catch one of those big numbers. Tomorrow, Terry and I'll be back trying to, I don't know that we'll be able to box it up like that, but we'll be trying to box it up at Fairgrounds. Jared says he's going to have his slate of picks ready, so make sure you check that out. If you have your slate of picks ready for Fairgrounds tomorrow, join us at 12 o'clock Eastern. Let us know your picks. You can comment, be it on YouTube by subscribing at Horse Racing Radar TV. If you like what you see, thumbs ups are appreciated. We do want to thank Lionel TM Fook. I hope I got that right for the thumbs up on Facebook. We appreciate that. And then Tom and I will be back on Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern to discuss some Australian racing once again. I think last week we had some good winners again at Australia. So big positives there. Saturday, Terry and I will be covering some stakes races. Not quite sure what that roster is going to be yet, but still a pretty good roster of things left to do. And that's about it, Shawn. Any final thoughts before we get up out of here tonight?
Well, here we are again. Horse Center comes and it goes. Next week, we have jockey Alex Brazar on, another jockey that's won a ton of races in his career. On Monday, Tuesday, Forrest Spice, and then Wednesday, jockey agent Marcus Judy. He represents Marshall Mendez at Charlestown, Rashawn Latchman, and also Guillermo Rodriguez at Mountaineer when he runs Mountaineer. Also, one other announcement. I'm allowed to announce this now. When I'm on vacation at the end of June, one of our favorite guests that just fit right in, he loved this part of it, Ty Kennedy will fill in for me.
Nice.
So yeah, he's looking
finally
forward to
somebody
that.
with some personality sitting outside
Yeah.
you, Shawn.
So, when I leave for vacation, hopefully I come back and Ty hasn't taken my job.
Nah, he won't take your job. Nobody can do what you do, Shawn. We all of us are sincerely thankful for all the work you do in the background. You know what you do? You bring the guests in, you do all the stuff on social media. You're like the Dennis Rodman of the show here. Well, minus the hair and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
There may be some things I'm not doing that Dennis Rodman was doing.
Well, Dennis Rodman did all the dirty work, right? Got all the rebounds, the steals, the one who dove in the stands. That's what I mean, Shawn. That's you. That's the picture I was trying to paint, not the leopard hair or the tight leather pants, although we never see what sort of pants you're wearing.
If they're not tight leather pants, I can tell you.
I'm always wearing shorts. But if you like the number 13, it's a nice hat. Today I was out. It's 70 degrees in Chicago. It's beautiful when it's 70 degrees in April in Chicago. Walking around with the number 13 hat, the number 13 shirt. And once again, people came up to me and said, hey, where did you get that? So you're going to look good. And you know what? It's going to make you look smarter too, which is going to also make you a better handicapper. Right, Shawn?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to order Blake a number 1 hat because he wants a number 1 hat, right? Like Terry has.
No, of course. Yeah, tell that story, Shawn.
Yeah, tomorrow I get to make his day. My 4-year-old son asks every day, is Terry going to be on with me? And Monday to Wednesday, I have to say no. So tomorrow he's going to ask that question. I'll say Terry's going to be on, and he's going to go, yay, and be all happy about it. So I don't know what it is about Terry, but Terry's a favorite.
Well, Terry gets Blake. I get CC. I think that's a good trade.
Way to turn that around.
Yes, indeed. I finally had something to say. The cat had not taken my tongue there. All right, Shawn, that wraps up today. Once again, we'll be back. If you like what you saw, please subscribe on the social media. You see the handle going by for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Horse Race Today. Again, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't already. And most importantly, please tell your friends about us. That's to help us grow. And if there's something you want to see us do, somebody you'd like to see us get as a guest, a track you want to see Terry and I handicap or Tom and I handicap for the weekends, or you have any questions about handicapping, whatever it is, it's a community. Make sure that you participate in the comment section, or you can email me directly at gtsrichb@gmail.com. All right, Shawn, we gave up our Final Fours already, right?
Sort of, not all Final Four. What's your Final Four?
Mine is Gonzaga, Purdue, Arizona and Auburn. I almost forgot the fourth one. I have Arizona. I have Arizona and Gonzaga in the finals, and in the big money pool, the one where I can make the most money, I took Gonzaga, just like everybody, just like my picks in the horse racing shows. Chalk. No,
so I'll tell you how much leading up to this tournament, Rich said you can't take Gonzaga. They choke every year. You can't take Gonzaga. They choke every year. And here we are. Rich took Gonzaga. So my Final Four is completely different. I got Texas Tech and Kentucky, Tennessee and Kansas, and then I got Kentucky beating Kansas for the championship. So I don't know if I should feel better or worse that Devin also took Kentucky, but yeah.
It's not Devin that you should be thinking about. It's my picks you should be thinking. I wasn't going to do it, but my son, I talked about this earlier. My son is like this. He's become a wizard in Excel. He's a really smart math kid. And, he's going to school to learn all about big data and all that kind of stuff. He's about to graduate, find out what life is really like, right? And paying his own bills and stuff like that. And so he put together this sheet, and it's an amazing sheet. I sent it off to Jared as well. But it's got every team. It's like color-coded green, and how the darker the green, the greater. And it shows you like each team's chances of winning in round 1, in round 2, in round 3, all the way through, and their chances of winning the championship. And when he did it, and I know it's all reliable math because I know, and I know who my kid is. At least I think I know who he is. But and the way he did it, he had Gonzaga was 2 times more likely than any other team to win the national championship. So, being the kind of statistics guy I am as well, Shawn, you just can't overlook that kind of edge. So that's why I went with Gonzaga, even though they will choke because I picked them.
Yeah, and you said all along, and I mean, they usually do choke. So I have Arkansas actually beating them. Whether they do or not, I don't know. But that I have them first real test that they have, they're going to lose. So that's what I got.
We shall see. That's what the tournament's all about. They'll be cutting down the nets. Shawn and I will be opening up the drapes again next Monday. Again, Terry and I'll be back tomorrow at noon Eastern. Tom and I at 1 Eastern. Tomorrow night, 9:30 with Paula Bacon. Should be a great show. I'm looking forward to that, Shawn. We'll do some picks at Tampa Bay Downs as well. And she says she's asked to be an excellent handicapper because she's got a handicap to make sure she gets her jockeys a great ride. All right, Shawn, that wraps up this week. We took you from wire to wire on this Wednesday, hump day. See you tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday night.